has been a skipper of meals. Skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, skipping dinner. I'll tell you that is the fastest way to backfiring. It's a sure way to actually gain weight. It doesn't help you maximize fat burning. It actually causes a lot of distraction, probably a bad mood. So key. And that will continue even after you do reset. That's part of my life. When I get up, I got to eat something. It's like a car. You want your car to move down the road, you got to put fuel in it. Body's the same way. Think about your body like a car. You're not going to put watered down gas or soda in your tank, because that car's not going to move. Your body's the same way. I just wish we responded that quickly. And aiming to eat every 3 to 4 hours. And focus on your food. How many of you realize what you ate for lunch? Or was it on the run? Were you in the middle of a meeting shoveling it down? Were you watching a program? Focusing on your food means you are looking at what you're eating. You are chewing the food in your mouth. You are enjoying and fueling your body. Those are some important things about when we eat. So we've got what we eat. We've got when we eat. We've certainly addressed why it's not important to skip meals. We also have to hydrate. And hydrating is among many of the very important things that we have to do with our bodies. Drinking more water can be challenging for a lot of people. I've done a lot of things with water. As an athlete, as a trainer, as an author, I talk about water all the time. And some people just don't like the taste of water. And when you take this apart and look at our bodies are mostly made up of water. And if you're not rehydrating, probably majority of us walk around dehydrated. And that can be a problem for metabolism, headaches, just flushing your body, making it work. My system, in my tank. Well, there's a few little tricks. And these are some little things, even though I don't like the words resolutions, they're kind of up some new good. So having a glass of water with a really near your computer at your office or by your bed can trigger that motivation to pour yourself a glass. Or take that computer little alarm clock and give yourself an hourly reminder, hey, you got to drink that glass of water. And in your freezer ice cube trays with ice cubes that might have a mint leaf in it, or some lemon or some lime zest or some fresh grapefruit zest. And if you still really have a hard time getting those upper numbers of glasses of water, like number 6 and number 7 and number 8, maybe it's something by creating a little fizz in that water. There's some great things on the market that you can do to add that bubbly sensation. Maybe that's where you'll get that extra glass in. So create those habits. It's super important, and especially when you're working out, which takes us to that very next component. Our food is one thing, but let me tell you, how you move your body is the next thing. We all have to move. Our bodies are physical. And I've always said, if you don't use it, you're sure gonna lose it. And that's true. I mean, do you feel stiff if you've sat in your chair all day long? Of course. Or are you winded like you can't even string 2 words together when you climb a flight of stairs? We need to start with something that is doable. And so I am one of the most basic trainers that you will ever find. The days on the Today Show, I use things like masking tape and chairs and walls to get you to do certain exercises. But tonight, I just want to share with you that I have embraced an exercise that is so simple, but yet so powerful and so life-changing and so awesome. And you can do it. It's walking. Because walking is one of the easiest things that you can do. Pretty much I could guarantee you that all of us can do it. We learned at one point. It's just we stopped doing it consecutively in a rhythmic pattern until you reach 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. But I'm not going to have you go that far tonight. I want you to embrace my mile walk. And if you follow me on Twitter, it's Kathy Kaler, if you follow me on Facebook, you will see that I keep posting my treadmill time. And the goal is for you to walk a mile in less than 15 minutes. And it is doable. I have trained people who did not think that they could break 30 minutes and have. Because you have to start somewhere. And when you start, you will realize that you are one workout away from a good mood. And that is no joke. I have had many times where I am just not feeling great, or maybe something a phone call has upset you, or you're having just one of those days. But you get out there and you go and move and you walk, you feel better. And like Dr. Oz said, take the stairs. Find things in your life, just like I told you, making that habit of that glass of water by your bed or by your desk. Now we need to take the physicality of what's in your life. Do you work in an office that's 2 stories above? Don't take the elevator. Take the stairs. I have a radio show every week. It's 4 flights up. I will never take that elevator because I know just for that day, I'm going to get those 4 flights. I know some of you are on the call who have been on the cruises, the USANA cruise, and I made you take the stairs. No elevators allowed. We got in incredible shape in 5 days. This is not something that takes a lifetime. You can see results soon. And it's so effective on every single part of you, mind, body, and soul. And just like Dr. Oz was saying, our average physical fitness at 17 can be the same as 65. And it brought a story to my memory. I trained Barbara Streisand one time. And the first thing that she said to me when I entered the room, she said, "Do you know how old I am?" And at the time, she was in her early 50s. And I said, "No. Does that matter?" And it took her back because she was thinking that I was going to design something that was only specifically for someone who is 50. Well, confirmation tonight, people. Dr. Oz says we should be able to do just what we were doing at 17 all the way up to 65. And for my own personal goals, I want that to exceed that at least by 3 decades. Do you know where I'm going? We can get out there and walk. It's important. It's a part of this whole package. It's resetting your body. It's resetting your lifestyle. And it's not hard. I want you to measure out a mile somewhere. If you have a high school track, if you have a car that you can drive out of your driveway and drive a half a mile looking at your odometer and mark the spot. It's the house with the red door. It's the mailbox with the cow on it. And that's your turnaround spot. Go back home, put on your shoes, get out your watch, and walk. And write down how many minutes that took you. And start to peel off seconds. Because that is going to change your life. There are so many other workouts that you can do. But right now, even if you are an athlete, you're a marathoner, you are a instructor, you are a personal trainer, we can all benefit from checking in on what our physical state is. And that mile check is a good one. Because at any fitness level, if you can get down below 14 and 13-minute miles and 12-minute miles walking, it's a great thrill to see what your body can do. And I encourage you to get out there, because you know what the hardest part is? The hardest part is walking out the front door. And that is what is exciting, to be a part of the USANA family, to be able to bring the information, the guidance, the help, the motivation, and to also be inspired by someone like Dr. Oz and all of the USANA family who are here to really utilize these incredible, extraordinary products that USANA has to be able to get us to this place of improved quality of life, filled with energy and strength and power. I encourage you, if you do not have your reset kit yet, get it and teach those around you why this is one of the best ways to put your body on the right track. I hope you guys have a great new year, and I look forward to seeing some of you challengers that are going to reach to the top, and I get to meet you personally in the spring of this year.
Well, thank you, Kathy. We appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. You know, Kathy makes it simple just by talking to you about getting out there and just making that one choice to go walk a mile. Find a friend, find a neighbor, you know, grab your kids, go out and walk a mile. And if you think about it, taking 15 minutes out of your day is really not all that hard. You know, go find a coworker during work and go walk during your break or during your lunch, and just take that time to get out. You know, as Kathy talks about, I think it's not only good for your health, it's also good for your mind. And being able to clear your mind and get out there and breathe some fresh air and take a break from the computer or the iPad or whatever you're looking at the time. So I want to thank Kathy for taking the time out of her schedule and joining us this evening. You know, she really is out there and walking the walk and helping people really change their lives and making a difference in their lifestyle. And so I encourage you to follow Kathy, as she's going to be part of this Reset Challenge with us. And the exercise portion, you're going to see her on the blogs, you're going to see her on Facebook, and also with her Sunday setup. It's a great addition to the Reset Challenge, and being able to meal prep during the week and get your whole family involved in this. Well, next up, we have Dr. Dixon, and Dr. Brian Dixon. He earned his PhD in molecular and cellular biology from Oregon State University, and he focused his research on biochemical mechanisms of the aging process, and is particularly looking at alpha-lipoic acid. He also did his postdoctoral work at the Linus Pauling Institute, and once again looking at the aging process, and has authored several scientific and peer-reviewed manuscripts on topics such as cancer, antioxidants, cellular signaling, gene regulation, stress coping mechanisms, weight management, sports nutrition, recovery from intense exercise, role of nutrition in recovery from surgery, inflammation, immunity, and the aging process, and also research on nutrients such as glutathione, vitamin D, plant polyphenols, and other phytonutrients. Dr. Dixon has also authored book chapters examining the role of dietary antioxidants and cardiovascular disease in the elderly, and has been a co-inventor on no fewer than 7 patents submitted in his time at USANA. He has been with USANA since January of 2009, where he started in the Research and Development Department. And as part of the scientific staff, His main role was to facilitate and manage all human clinical studies conducted at and funded by USANA. And in November of last year, Dr. Dixon was asked to head up a newly formed department at USANA, and he is over our Department of Health and Science Education. And as the executive director, he continues to lecture internationally on the importance of nutrition for optimal health. So we're very excited to, as we've been talking about the Reset Challenge and these great products that you've been hearing from Dr. Oz and from Kathy, I now want to turn this time over to Dr. Brian Dixon to talk to you more about the Reset program. So Dr. Dixon, the time is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lori. And I know you give you a hard time quite a bit at work, but you did an amazing job with those big words, so very well done. I want to just really take my time and reiterate a lot of what Dr. Oz and what Kathy had to say. And I hope you guys are in front of a computer and can see the slides, but I know some of you aren't, so I'll also try to talk our way through it. But, what we're really talking about here is weight management. And really, the number one thing that people are doing to predispose themselves to suboptimal health is not being a healthy body weight, right? So let's drill down on these points and get a little bit dirtier than Dr. Oz or that Kathy Kaler did. And when we're talking about weight management, we're really talking about energy balance. That's the scientific term for weight management. So if you're not in front of your computer, you can't see the slides. If you would, in your mind's eye, kind of picture a teeter-totter, right? You have two kids in the playground going up and down on this teeter-totter. And when we're talking about energy balance or weight balance, there's only two parts to that equation, right? There's the calories in and there's the calories out. And for the nutritionists that may be on the call, listen, I know that there are some nuances that can play into that, but let's just keep this simple for the sake of the call tonight. Calories in and calories out. So if we're thinking about calories in, there's only one way calories get into our body, and those are the conscious decisions that we make of the food that we're putting into our mouths, right? We don't absorb food through our skin. We're not plants. We don't make energy from the sun. These are conscious decisions with the food that we're putting in our mouths. Now, there's really only two ways energy gets out once it gets in, and one is your metabolism. Lots of different names for it. A lot of people call it your basal metabolic rate or your resting metabolic rate, but let's just consider it your metabolism, right? So maintaining our body temperature at 98 degrees or 37 degrees Celsius actually takes a ton of energy. Breathing, our beating heart, all of these things that we need to just survive every day actually take up the majority of the calories that we put in our mouths. Now, of course, another way we can expend some of that energy is moving around, right? Exercise. And there's actually two kinds of exercise. There's what the scientists call deliberate exercise. So that's when you're going to the gym and you're walking on the treadmill or you're lifting the weights. And then there's daily activities. So the brushing your teeth, the walking up the stairs, the walking from your car into the grocery store, right? So metabolism and exercise. Those are the only two ways calories are going to leave our bodies. So here's the point to actually look at the rate. So there's a small little nuance in there that I have listed as the thermic effect of food. But for the sake of this conversation, let's just consider that our metabolism. So, you hear Kathy talk about when you eat breakfast, it actually boosts your metabolism. And that's because it takes energy to digest food. So eating that breakfast in the morning, like she suggested, is a great way to boost that metabolism. So let's just consider that thermic effect of food and that resting metabolic rate, your metabolism. And if you actually look at that on the scale, that's about 80% of the calories you burn in a day are on the metabolic side. Physical activity only counts for about 20% of the total calories burned. And of that, the majority of those calories are actually those daily activities. It's not going to the gym. Some statistics I like to throw out. Do you know how many calories you actually burn when you run a mile? You wouldn't believe I mean, anywhere 1,000 calories per mile. But actually the number is 100 calories per mile, right? Isn't it? Only 100 calories per mile. And I think most of us would agree that going for a 5-mile run would actually be a pretty Herculean feat. But you're only going to burn 500 calories. I'll ask you the question, is it easier to burn that 500 calories, or is it maybe easier to push that plate away that has the 500 calories on it? Now look, like Dr. Oz mentioned, like Kathy Taylor mentioned, you can't underestimate the health benefits of exercise. So by no means am I saying don't exercise, right? The benefits for your heart and cardiovascular health, indisputable. You want to maintain and even grow that lean muscle mass, right? Because that's going to be the engine that's going to help you burn more of those calories. But what I really want to get us thinking about is actually the food that we're consuming. Because I think it goes without question that the best way to optimize weight loss would be to affect both sides of that teeter-totter, right? If we can decrease the amount of calories we're putting in our mouth and increase the amount of calories we're burning, that's how we're going to see the most success in weight loss. So, great tips from Dr. Oz. Kathy, walking is one of my absolute favorite exercises. I actually find it very meditative, so you can also get that therapeutic benefit that Dr. Oz was talking about. Now, one thing I do want to talk about are fad diets. I personally cannot stand fad diets, and I assure you there are no shortage of diets out there, right? We've all seen the hype and the jargon and the this and the that, and this special ingredient is going to be the next new greatest thing. It's going to make you lose, I don't know the numbers, 100 pounds in 1 week, right? These ridiculous claims, fad diets. But it's coming back to that teeter-totter analogy. If someone's coming to you, if a company's coming to you, if some ad in a magazine is coming to you with these outlandish claims that are good, too good to be true, they probably are, right? You've heard that over and over again. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Well, let's think about this. Fad diets. If they're not affecting one of those three things we've talked about on that teeter-totter, the diet, right, the energy coming in, or the energy going out, either through boosting your metabolism or by some miracle getting your butt off of the couch and getting out and exercising, right, getting out that front door, it's not going to help you with weight management. I'm tired of these companies taking advantage of people by these fad diets and these false claims. And I'll throw out some more numbers for you. I mean, caffeine, for example. There's some great data out there that caffeine can actually increase your metabolism. But the caloric benefit you gain from that little bump in the caffeine that you've consumed is only going to be right around 50 calories. So again, we're not talking about this huge miracle cures, right? Even for things that we know work. So be weary of fad diets and anybody who's approaching you with fad diets. And that's why I'm so proud to represent this company, USANA Health Sciences, because we don't jump on fads. We don't jump on bandwagons. We go back to the science, we go back to the scientific literature, and we design our products based on what the science is telling us. And what the science tells us, best way to lose weight is to control your portion sizes. And what do I mean by controlling portion sizes? Well, ultimately what you're going to do is decrease the number of calories that you're putting in your mouth. And I've got listed up on the slide a few of the little tricks that you can do to help decrease, right, the amount of calories that you're eating. So interestingly, I think this is pretty fun and an interesting psychology experiment for all of us. It's actually been shown if you eat your meals off of smaller plates or out of smaller bowls, you actually consume significantly less calories than if you have a big plate. In our minds, we want to fill up the plate or the bowl with food, and we want to finish it. It's no accident that Costco or some of these other big warehouse clubs have bigger shopping carts. Psychologically, we want to fill them up, right? Very interesting. Something else you can do, slow your eating, right? Get those hormones working back for you like Dr. Oz was talking about. Let that fullness hormone start to kick in. If we scarf our food down really quickly and we're not present and conscious with what we're eating, where we're eating it, how we're eating it, we're going to keep eating until eventually we get so full that finally those hormones kick over. But if you come in slow and just eat slowly, and whether that's chewing your food a whole bunch of extra times or just pacing yourself, making yourself take 10, 15, 20 minutes to actually eat your meal, you will consume less calories. Now, something the scientific literature tells us is just by far, hands down, the best way to control your portion size, i.e. your caloric intake, are through meal replacements. So I'm a scientist. I have to throw clinical studies at you guys, and I've got 3 of them here. I'm not going to bore you to death. But here, there was one study where people lost 6 to 7 extra pounds over the people that were on the control diet. Another study, people who just consumed one meal replacement, and in this case, it was a shake, consumed significantly fewer calories, again, than their normal diet. And then here, just the last study I'm going to talk about. Again, a liquid shake meal replacement. The subjects experienced significant weight loss, had improvements in glycemic and insulin control, and also improved their cardiovascular health. They're doing nothing more than substituting in these healthy meal replacements. So let's talk a little bit more about this, and why do these meal replacements help you control portion size, which are so effective at controlling weight loss? Well, up on the screen, I've got 3 examples of typical, at least American, breakfasts. We have that famous breakfast sandwich from one of the fast food chains. Probably got the orange juice with that. You've got the latte and the scone from your favorite corner coffee shop. And then maybe a little bit healthier alternative, oatmeal, glass of orange juice. Have you guys ever really thought about how many calories are actually in those breakfast options? Well, for that breakfast sandwich and orange juice, 750 calories. If you can believe it, in that latte and scone, there's almost 800 calories. And even that healthier alternative, that bowl of oatmeal, there's still 500 calories. Meal replacements are so effective because they tend to be somewhere between 200 to 300 calories. So let's just walk through some quick numbers here really quick. Bowl of oatmeal, the healthiest choice I've got up on the screen, 500 calories, and let's just split the difference on those calories for the meal replacement, 250 calories. So if I eat a meal replacement, instead of eating that bowl of oatmeal, I will save 250 calories. Or why don't we even flip this on its head? If I was making a bad decision, maybe I'm eating that breakfast sandwich over that bowl of oatmeal, and I'm getting an extra 250 calories. Well, what happens? Does that matter? Is that going to add up? Well, if you take that 250 calories, multiply it by 365 days in a year, look at how many calories that actually equates to over the course of that year. 91,000 extra calories you've consumed. So if getting an additional 200 calories is going to cause you to lose, I should say gain a net of 25 extra pounds, right? That 91,000 calories divided by 3,500, the number of calories that are in a pound of fat, is actually going to make you gain 25 pounds. But if that's true, if you're eating an additional 250 calories, isn't the opposite also going to be true if you're reducing your caloric intake by 250 calories? And the answer is absolutely yes. If you cut out 250 calories from your diet, you will lose a theoretical 25 pounds out of the course of a year. Now, I think everybody on this call would be ecstatic to lose that 25 pounds. But really think about what's happened. You've really only lost about 2 pounds per month, right? Very achievable weight loss. most people aren't going to be happy with that 2 pounds in 1 month. So what if we reduced another 250 calories out of our diet? Maybe we substituted another meal, or we made another healthier choice, right? So then there's 500 calories we're cutting out a day. That's going to equate to 50 pounds of weight loss per year. What if you take Dr. Oz's and Kathy's advice, you move your feet just a little bit more, you do all the small things to help you burn more calories? What if you can burn an additional 250 calories a day? Very easy to do. That's going to be 75 pounds of weight loss that you could achieve through this healthy lifestyle that you're now embracing, right? So do you see how these small numbers can really compound and make huge differences over time? And that really has been the philosophy from the beginning for USANA's food lines. It's in our meal replacement shakes. So not only are we providing fewer calories, but we're providing the essential macro and micronutrients that your bodies need to function properly and healthily. But we also have the protein in there that Dr. Oz was talking about. We've got healthy carbohydrates. We have healthy fats. We also put fiber in there to help you feel more full. So even though you're calorically restricted, I would be willing to bet that you're going to feel much more satisfied eating this healthier alternative than a lot of those options with the latte and the scone or those fast food breakfast sandwiches. We've got the protein snacks to help get you between the meals. With the protein, you get that bump in your metabolism, so you get a twofold benefit to your weight management goals, that bump in your metabolism and helping you bridge that gap between the meals. You heard Dr. Oz and Kathy talk about how great nuts are, how great berries are. Well, we've combined both the nuts and the berries into our Berry Nutty Whole Foods bar. Again, you can see the deliberateness of the science, the low glycemic, the leveraging the healthy ratios of those macronutrients that have all gone into the food line. Now, you've heard the word quite a bit tonight about reset. And what is reset? We're embarking on this reset challenge tonight. This is the kickoff. Reset is actually our USANA foods packaged up into our weight management program. And it's actually broken down into 3 phases. We've got the 5-day jumpstart. And you can see that pictured there. And that is really the kit that you will initially purchase. And again, based on the science, it's designed to try to get you free of craving fast food, sugar, the unhealthy fat